You know I love you, and I know you love me. So why keep doing this to both of us? You know you're mine. You got me so bad.
Hello there, this is Cece Amethyst, and yes, I have grey hair now. I am no longer blonde, and was this planned? No. But what do you guys think of the new hair? I think I like it more than my blonde, and I also like cool tone makeup and just cool tone colors in general, so I think, yeah, this suits more. And for today's makeup look, it's my everyday lilac-y purple toned makeup, where if I don't have a specific look plan, this would be my go-to. And the first thing I do before applying any makeup would be a moisturizer, followed by a sunscreen after my moisturizer has set on my face for a bit. I like to polka dot my whole face with the sunscreen so I know that there's even coverage all around my face. And depending how fast my sunscreen dries down, I alternate between doing my foundation first or my brows. In this video, I am doing my brows first. Now my go-to brow product is this brow cushion from Euphoric Sun actually, and for some reason in this video, I used this Clio like gel liner. I think I was trying something new, but for my usual look, I always go for my brow cushion. But I think the reason why I wanted to try this gel liner is because, as you can tell, I have no hairs at the end of my eyebrow, so I have to like draw something on to mimic brow hairs. I'm actually needing to get like a super fine liner so I can draw like every single brow hair on, and I think it's from the brand Judy Doll, but I'll update you guys on my brow routine in a future makeup video. Now I know my brows look a little questionable, like they look a little choppy, but don't worry, I'm going to blend it into my brows with an eyeshadow. This is from Etude House, and I'm mixing the light brown and cream using a small angled brush to like dust it in, so I get a slightly softer brow look, almost like a gradient where the ends of my brows are a little darker than the middle because I have some brow hairs to make up for the look of my brows. When I'm on the go, I usually just use Clio's Kill Cover Cushion Foundation without using any concealer because I find the coverage of this cushion foundation to be just enough for me. I mainly target like the center of my forehead, under my eyes, and like the center of my cheeks for high coverage, blending it outwards so the center of my face looks the most brightest, and my coverage is more faded and lighter as it goes outwards of my face, just slightly tapping the leftover foundation on the edges and over my eyes, which will help color match my eyelids without having too much caked on. This is the before and after. Using any leftover foundation on the corners of my face, around my mouth and nose. After finishing my base, I like to go back to my Etude House eyeshadow and use that brown shade to contour my nose, using a fluffy brush to focus on the inner corner of my eyes from my brows to my nose bridge, and blending it out onto my eyelid to give the illusion of a deeper socket and a higher nose bridge. Finishing off the contour, I lightly dust the tip of my nose, and this is the before and after contrast. After finishing the other side, it should give the illusion of a more defined nose and give your face a more 3D look. Now moving on to the base makeup of my eyes, taking Colourpop's Hello Hollywood mini eyeshadow palette, I'm using the color white, which will allow the color layered on top to show up better. Because I have such a small lid space and like a protruding fat on the eyelid, I find using my finger to apply the eyeshadow gives me the most pigment and color. Now to get the purpley lilac eyeshadow shade, I absolutely love rom&nd's mini quad. I think out of most of the purple eyeshadows I've used, this one is the nicest, like lilac. It reminds me of like a purple blush, but for your eyes. And I like to pile on multiple layers depending how pigmented I wanted the color to be. At the end, you want it to look like as if there was never any white eyeshadow and it's just a purple flush. And I forgot to do this while I was doing my nose contour, but I like to put a cream or white eyeshadow just along the tip of my nose and nose bridge to define the shape of my nose more. Going back to one of Colourpop's mini Hollywood eyeshadow palettes, they have this nice, like almost champagne color. On my skin tone specifically, it looks like my skin but like glowing, like it's not a harsh gold or silver, which I think was a really nice light highlight for the inner corners of my eyes and my nose bridge, giving it a nice natural glow. Next, I'm taking Unleash's Glitterpedia eyeshadow palette and using one of their finer pressed glitters on the center of my eyelids. I'm lightly tapping it on and mostly focusing on the middle. This will open up my eyes more and give it more of a big 3D kind of look. Now, because this eyeshadow has finer glitter specks, I'm going back with this glitter on the center of the palette to layer on bigger chunks of glitter. This way it makes it less obvious that there's like solid big chunks of glitter, because if it's layered on finer glitter, it looks like there's like a glow on your eye. For my eyeliner, I'm most commonly like to just do a straight eyeliner because due to the way that my eyelid folds down, it's harder for me to do a higher winged eyeliner. I do it sometimes, but that would require more time. Now after drawing a straight line, I connect the rest, forming like a mini triangle to the shape of my eye. Now I only line 1/4 to 1/3 of my eye as it is most flattering for my eye shape and so that you could still see a peak of my eyelid. Random fact, but when I look down, I love how seamless it looks because it is a straight liner and its shape won't get altered by how my eye folds. Here I'm reapplying the lilac on top of my winged liner because this gives the illusion of a bigger and elongated eye from my wing, while also putting back some of the saturated color back onto my eyes. Now finishing off with under eye makeup, I am taking the same brown eyeshadow shade that I used to contour my nose to line under my eyes. I'm lining close to my lash line, starting on the inner corner and slowly going outwards, further away from my lash line. I used to use this brown pencil liner to line the bottom of my lash line, but I found it to be quite harsh, so now I just line the outer corners. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm using this purple liner to form my bottom aegyosul. Using a lilac actually isn't so intense, and especially for a lilac themed makeup look, this suits really well. I'm just following the line of the brown eyeshadow that we just created, and if you have small Asian eyes, this is perfect because it automatically gives the illusion that you have bigger eyes. Now I don't think I did the best blending job here, but I took the same brown eyeshadow and created a little bit of shadow under the lilac liner. This further gives the illusion that you have a fat, juicy, sexy aegyosul. But I would say to focus more of the shadow on the outer corner. I've got this gorgeous flower nose setting powder and a new Kaleidos one which was gifted by my friend. Shout out to Judy. I usually use the flower nose to set my face, but I wanted to try this new Kaleidos powder. Essentially, this step mattifies your face and blurs your pores and gives you almost like a filter-like look for your skin. I did have to show you the difference. Like as you can see, there's a matte and glowy side. This step is low-key therapeutic because it's so cool seeing my glowy face turn matte, just blurred. Like, did you see that? Did you just see that? This is a real-time difference and it looks like I have a filter in real life. You can see I'm building the powder on in thin layers just to fix up any area I need to or concentrate on an area that I really need to blur out. And the main areas that I focus on are my cheeks and over my forehead to complete the step. For my blush, I alternate between using eyeshadow and a proper blush that I actually have because I really like the light pink in the rom&nd quad, and I personally just find it more convenient to use eyeshadow for anything you can, like contour, blush, or highlight. Also, unpopular opinion, this is just my personal liking, but I don't really like saturated strong blushes. I personally love subtle blushed, like flush looks on your cheek, kind of like as if you're naturally blushing quite literally, while adding the slightest hint of color. And really, I think this is the best type of blush to match a purpley lilac look. If you also like a really light blush look, please let me know in the comments, or do you like the usual pigmented look? Like, nothing against it, I think it looks gorgeous on everyone else, and who knows, maybe I'll get into it. I'm taking the same eyeshadow highlight that I used for my inner corner on the top of my cheeks to get a little cute highlight. These are my newly found holy grail lashes if you want that cute Douyin manhua kind of look, while also being the most flattering for my little hooded eyes. And the only lash glue that I stand by strongly is Etude House double eyelid glue. Now I know it's labeled double eyelid glue, but it's also most commonly used to glue on your lashes, and it is one of the best ones I've used so far, so yeah. I always use fake lashes because really I have kind of non-existent lashes. Like, even if I were to use an eyelash curler, sometimes I feel like it can't even grab my lashes to curl because it is that short, and also due to the shape of my eyelid because there's like a big fat on it. Now I could use a lash serum, but I really like this type of lash look and it's just much easier and quicker to get ready with. Finally, tackling the lips, I've got my Ink Airy Velvet lip tint, lip stain, what do you call this? This is in a baby pink cool tone, and for this look I'm using it as a base color, and I'm gonna layer 2 other colors on top, which are my favorite Rare Beauty lip products in this lilac and deep berry. And I like to layer the lilac on the edges of my lips more and blend it in. This gives my lips a more cooler and muted kind of pink look. Then I take the darker shade and focus on the center of my lips, focusing most of the color on the inner edge. And this color will be blended out so you would have a gradient lip. You can use your finger to blend, but I usually just put my lips together and do a little mush. This gives you a very unique color and also a lot of dimension to your lips. Then the last thing that I'm doing to my face is a little bit of contour with this palette. I tend to use the mid to dark tone with a medium angle brush, swiping it back and forth in between shades. This is just a personal preference depending on what shade you like. And I'm just brushing it on the side of my face, giving me a little cheekbone and along my jawline. And I brush any excess off all around the edges of my face. And I'm actually not done with the eye makeup yet. I like using wet glitters as like the very last step, like the icing on the cake that really pulls the whole look together. And I'm just using the Etude House Terra eyeliner to line the highlight of my aegis, but not putting on too much and mainly focusing on the inner corner. Sometimes I just like to use my fingernail to like lightly blend it out, as this is also only the base of the glitters that I'm gonna layer on. I've been loving Peri Peri's glitter liner. It has a mixture of small to big glitter chunks, and I just like to highlight this on the very middle of my aegis and sometimes on the upper lid, but only on the center. Before I personally wrap up this makeup look, I have a little beauty mark in the corner of my eye which got a bit covered up by my foundation, so I'm just grabbing the Clio brown eyeliner to put it back in place, just making it a little bit more visible because I think it's a really cute beauty mark. Now the very last optional step, if I'm in the mood, I would put on a little lip gloss as the cherry on top of the look. And because my lip gloss is pigmented, I also like to focus on the inner lip. At last, this is the final look of the makeup tutorial. I know this is a little different to the usual content I've made on my channel, but I just wanted a staple video for my makeup that you guys can follow as like the basis of all my looks. And I'm hoping to make more makeup videos on my channel that are a bit more creative or with different themes, mainly because I don't see a lot of representation for my specific eye shape, because I remember I was searching for eye makeup on YouTube and I could not find any like helpful tutorial specific to my eye shape. So I thought I could be that gal for anyone who has a similar eye shape to me, to have someone you could kind of look up to in terms of makeup looks. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed today's video and I really appreciate you for watching. And don't worry, there will still be lots of fashion content and vlogs coming your way. I've just had a nice summer holiday break before I get busy again with uni. I love you guys so much, and if you've watched up until now, leave me a little eye emoji. Love you! Mwah.